Hello and welcome to the Elder Tree podcast. My name is Twiggy Dawn. I'm the founder of the Elder Tree and Alchemilla Herbals, and I reside on Jitterbug land here in far north Queensland. You are listening to the Herbal Education segment, where each new moon I invite a myriad of plant wisdom keepers to chat about the world of herbal education, about their passions and motivations, and their dreams for the future of herbal medicine education in Australia. This podcast is brought to you by the Elder Tree, a non-for-profit organisation whose mission is putting the medicine in the hands of the people. One of the ways that we are doing this is through this podcast. If you would like to go deeper with the podcast journey while supporting the Elder Tree for as little as $2 per week, then you can become a member of our Patreon. Thanks to all of the people and plants who have helped to make this podcast possible. Springtime blessings to all of you tuning into this episode. We recently celebrated the podcast's first birthday on the Spring Equinox, and I want to extend a heartfelt thanks to all of you for your support on this journey so far. If you've been tuning in recently, you would have noticed that over this past moon cycle, we've each been giving a deeper insight into our individual segments' journeys over the past year. Here in this episode, I'm going to share with you the past year's deeply explorative journey on the Herbal Education segment. After that, I would like to share with you all a bit about where we are at with the Elder Tree project and where this podcast fits in with the vision of the Elder Tree. Well, it's been a massive year. I'll be honest here, I've never founded a podcast before, so initially, I felt a little bit in over my head, but it has been such an incredible experience having a committed team who are making the experience so much fun. I'm so proud of Tennille and Steph and Jess for all of their loyalty, commitment, and dedication to this journey, for them trusting in my vision for this project, and for their incredible wisdom and deeply intuitive creativity that each of them brings to this podcast. There is a lot that goes on behind the scenes. There is a lot of communication and a lot of hard work for each of us recording and editing our own episodes. And it is a labour of love as we are all operating in a volunteer capacity. I also would like to acknowledge and thank Tegan McBride, who recently stepped into the tech side of the team and has been running the Elder Tree Trove on Patreon. She has been a valuable support so far, and we are grateful for her volunteer gift to the Elder Tree. What drove me to start the herbal education segment of this podcast was, firstly, my own experience of being a herbal medicine student in Australia. Like so many of us, I felt so disappointed at the lack of options. I felt defeated by the seemingly singular pathway offered to herbalists, with the one single option to be a clinical practitioner operating in a clinical setting. I felt confused by the lack of grassroots herbal medicine schools in Australia, which 15 years ago, when I was wanting to first officially study, there wasn't one single grassroots herbal medicine school in Australia. And in fact, there still isn't one today, despite all of the many thousands of people that are yearning for it. I went through 7 years of studying herbalism at university, whilst not being guided even once to touch or smell a plant. I did fly in, fly out for clinical training in 2 different colleges, all the while deeply confused about my choice because I never wanted to be a herbal practitioner. I just wanted to study herbalism. I wanted to live and breathe the medicines of the plants as a way of life, not as an industry. I flew to Tasmania to learn herbal medicine making at Pindari Farm because although I completed the herbal manufacturing subject at 2 different universities, I was left feeling completely ill-equipped to grow, harvest, and make my own vital medicine. I worked in 2 Happy Herb company shops and also in a Chinese Western herbal medicine shop, hoping to learn more there, but what I learned is that people are sick, and they're sick due to ignorance. Gosh, it sounds horrible to say it like that, but it's not their fault. It's not our fault. We aren't being taught at school how to take care of ourselves. Then after school, if we want to enroll in courses to learn to take care of ourselves, we have to stare at a computer screen and a whole lot of textbooks and then learn our way through without anyone really teaching us how to listen to our bodies and how to listen to the earth and to the plants. It is incredibly difficult to find mentors, true mentors, let alone affordable mentors, or anyone to do a genuine apprenticeship with. I don't know of, still to this day, I don't know of any herbal educators aside from myself that are offering herbal apprenticeships as an ongoing one-on-one program. What I saw working in these 3 shops, studying in those 2 universities, and also from the thousands of students who have attended my workshops, is that people are hungry for knowledge and struggling to find the right teachers. A lot of them are also struggling to afford the healing and the education that they need in order to live fuller, happier lives. So here is the motivating factor behind the Elder Tree podcast and the Elder Tree itself. If you want to hear a bit more about my journey and the journey of starting this podcast, then you can listen to the episode 1. When I stop and reflect over this past year of interviewing an amazing collection of inspiring teachers from around Australia, I'm filled to the brim with love and satisfaction. I have intentionally selected a wide variety of age, gender, and experience levels within the guests of this segment. From people who have been self-taught to those who have completed degrees. From those who teach at universities to those who teach grassroots in their own communities. From the classroom to the earth. From one-on-one to large conferences. From authors to mentors. From people at the beginning of their journey to well-respected elders. When I look back, I see that there are so many threads woven in every single interview, so many shared viewpoints and themes explored, so many perspectives that we all share regardless of our backgrounds or personal situations. One such theme is around reciprocity. Every person I interviewed brought this up in one way or another. The unified belief seems to be that we should never be just taking nature's gifts for granted. It always needs to be a two-way street. There needs to be practical methods for giving back and for also listening before taking and giving before taking. Listening to the plants themselves, listening to our own gut instinct and intuition, and listening to our ancestors and the spirits of the land. There's a unified belief that we should consider ourselves as custodians rather than just seeing nature as something to be owned and a commodity to be pillaged and squandered. What I love is each person's unique way of actioning this belief around reciprocity and custodianship. In episode 5, Alison Meyer shares deeply about this topic, and one of the ways that she actions this belief is by teaching other people about the importance of reciprocity, the importance of seeing plants as family instead of just a resource. In episode 9, Heidi Marika shares the reciprocity she feels with her students as a herbal medicine teacher, rather than being a herbal medicine practitioner. We discuss how many patients come along with their hands out, wanting the practitioner to give them the quick fix, which is much the same as how modern Western human often approaches the plants. The energy needs to flow both ways, and anyone wanting to heal needs to be willing to show up and do the work rather than just expect to receive. There was such a feeling of reciprocity with Heidi that in her generous nature and feeling of connection to the vision, after I interviewed her, she decided to donate $1 per sale of her beautiful book Wildcraft to the Elder Tree. She's been doing that ever since, monthly, for the past 10 months. Thank you to Heidi for this beautiful contribution. In episode 13, Sam Marsh shared his way of bringing people closer to nature via his wild herbalism and herb foraging walks. This way of walking with the medicine has such minimal environmental impact because it requires minimal resources and minimal ecosystem disruption. It is arguably the most sustainable form of herbalism. In episode 17, Sandra Parker has an important message around practitioners being connected to all of the plants that they dispense. She encourages all practitioners to grow the medicine that they dispense rather than importing mass-made medicines. In episode 21, Tapunka Macready's shares the importance of regarding plants as teachers and having a daily direct relationship with them. He also guides people to reciprocity through learning the magic of herbs. In episode 25, Christopher Smith actively works on reciprocity and custodianship by spending a big portion of his everyday life dedicated to preserving endangered species, minimizing international importing of endangered herbs, and teaching others to grow these rare medicines. In episode 29, I interviewed Monica Francia, who runs community medicine farms and free medicine clinics. So much of her reciprocity with the plants is making the plants so available to the Tasmanian community and getting them all trading their backyard medicines so that nothing goes to waste and people feel more connected and empowered within their community. In episode 33, Kat Green shares the journey of being a community herbalist and creating more reciprocity within the herbal community through such events such as Annual Herb Fest. Creating a culture of collaboration then relates to how people connect with the plants. Jackie Bushell, in episode 37, shares about the wisdom that the medicine holds and that we need to celebrate them for their continued offering. She talks about the need to be accountable in how we work with the plants, and also about having a more sustainable dosage level rather than being wasteful with resources in response to the rampant consumerism that is currently taking place globally with medicine. In episode 41, Stephanie Hazel shares about the importance of being present, listening to and observing the plants. Through her workshops, she teaches deep listening to the plants and attuning our bodies and minds to them, reconnecting to our senses and intuition with the plants. She talks about moving away from having an anthropocentric viewpoint and not putting ourselves in the center as the most important or superior species. In episode 45, Rosie Cooper shares how she teaches people to allow the plants themselves to guide the process, rather than us just taking charge. She assists her community to attune to reciprocity via her wilderness rites of passage retreats and plant connection courses. She teaches about the slow way of working with the plants and the slow way of learning and teaching, facilitating embodied spaces that involve non-academic, deep listening. Finally, in episode 49, Sian Harper shares about staying in our heart in the way that we work with each other and the plants, rather than succumbing to the competitiveness of the industry mindset. Like so many of the other guests, she shares her wisdom around forming reciprocity with the broader herbal community, about inclusivity and sharing resources and supporting one another. Through this process, people find their place as part of nature, and reciprocity just naturally results from this place. The collaborative and mutually supportive spirit within the herbal community is a massive thread among all of the people I've interviewed, and to be honest, it's a big part of why I've invited these particular people to share their important message on the podcast. I would really love to hear what you as the listeners have to share about this topic. Please feel free to email us or comment on our social media posts to share your wisdom and perspective. One of the other major threads that I saw woven through every interview is when I asked the guest to paint the picture of the future of herbal medicine in Australia. It would seem that we all want the same thing. We want more embodied, connected, tactile learning environments becoming available. We want to see practitioners being more connected to the living plants and being involved in the medicine that they dispense. We would like to see more options in general which support the many different pathways of herbalism in Australia. We would like to see all herbalists having a deep and respectful relationship to the medicine that they dispense. We would like to see schools that have herb farms and teach hands-on medicine making. We would like to see more of a return to home herbalism and the recreation of folk herbalism, with more everyday people feeling confident to work with herbs for their health and the health of their families and communities. We would like to see more people knowing how to identify medicine growing all around them, and more people growing medicine in their backyards, with more sustainable ways of growing medicine. And the thing is that each of the people I interviewed are actually actively working toward creating that. Each of the people I interviewed are really active in their communities and passionately spreading knowledge and empowerment and facilitating spaces of reconnection and re-remembrance. The thing is that a lot of these people feel isolated in their communities, and that is one of the wonderful things about this podcast, is that we are interconnecting them all and providing a space for collaboration and mutual support. So what you're listening to now is the 53rd episode, and it feels like a great achievement. And yet, this is just a point in time. It's our birthday. Happy birthday to the Elder Tree podcast. But I also look forward to the future and all of the incredible wisdom that's still yet to be shared in this space. Over the next couple of months, expect to hear from Pat Collins, Lily Argren, and Linda Bates, who are all incredibly inspirational grassroots herbalists and herbal educators. I'll also be interviewing some of the lecturers and heads of colleges that train in herbal medicine. I'll continue to try to give a broad spectrum of viewpoints, though it does seem that pretty much everyone I interview shares the same viewpoint. We all essentially want the same thing. My next question to the listeners today is, do you know of a herbal educator that inspires you, who has wisdom to share and you feel would be perfect for the herbal education segment? Please do get in touch if so. So now I'm going to share a little bit about the Elder Tree and how the podcast fits in with the vision. I mean, we've already been talking about it a bit, but the Elder Tree will be, and hopefully won't always be, but at least in the beginning, will be the only grassroots herbal medicine school in Australia. It will be the only school that's offering internships to university students. Now, the only other place that I know of is that is offering internships. They're not a school, but Gould's down in Tasmania, who I'm very excited to go and visit in at the end of this year and the start of next year. I'm going to go down. I'm going to visit with Monica Francia, who I've interviewed on here, and visit with Sandra Parker. And I'm going to go on a little herbal tour around Tasmania, and unfortunately I'll not go to Pindari Farm again because they've closed down now. I'm going to go to Gould's and check out that beautiful farm and clinic and just see what they're up to, because there's elements of what they're creating there that's the closest thing I found to what we're going to be doing with the clinic at the Elder Tree. So we'll go down and meet them. Very excited about that. Hoping that I will be fortunate enough to get to meet Greg Witten. I'll probably be pinching myself a little bit there. I specified that the Elder Tree will be the only grassroots herbal medicine school in Australia. There are so many grassroots herbal medicine schools all around the rest of the world. We're the only country actually that I found that doesn't have one so far in all of my research. But I'm just going to take a moment here to explain what grassroots means in this context for those who don't know what I mean. So a grassroots school is one which is created by the people for the people. It is not run by a government or corporation or a chain, a company that has a chain. It is not profited from by rich, invisible individuals. When I define this, when I say this, I don't want to compare ourselves to the schools that are currently providing qualifications like advanced diplomas and bachelor's degrees. We will not be offering these kind of qualifications. We won't be offering that kind of academic space. We want to work closely with these schools to assist students in having a more integrated and embodied learning experience. Whilst we will have classroom and clinic environments, what we'll more importantly offer is the hands in the earth, plant experience, the embodied connection there. So that's what our primary focus is. So In essence, the elder tree itself is like a symbiotic cross-pollination of many different individuals, organizations, and businesses working together and with the plants for the greater good of all. And what we're creating is intended to be around for a very long time. We're building this for the many generations yet to come, for our children's children's children. It is a cultural legacy, which is an increasingly rare thing in these disposable times, where most things are created for instant gratification and fast results, no matter the consequence for this earth and the future animals, plants, and children who will inhabit it. Are you living each day and making each choice with the consideration of the impact for future generations? Do you even know how to? The elder tree will help to provide a space for us to remember how to live in this way, in reciprocity with the earth, living as part of nature. We're already doing this through our podcasts, and there's different fundraiser workshops and events. And we'll be able to do this every single day when we have the space to create the Elder Tree Sanctuary. We're not rushing towards this goal, as there are many steps to take on the path to get there. But we're loving the journey, and we want to thank you for your support and encouragement and assistance during this time. The future ancestors also thank you. So one of the ways that you can get involved with the elder tree, because we're reaching like a national audience here with the podcast, and I get a lot of emails. We get emails, so many emails every week, just from people in multiple areas around Australia and in New Zealand actually, that are really aligned with what we're creating and want to get involved. And it's a little hard to give people tangible ways to get involved until we actually have the sanctuary and where they're developing the facilities with the school and the medicinal botanical gardens and the all of the facilities there. So but there are ways that people can get involved long distance. We're always needing extra tech support and admin support. So if you feel to offer that, then that would be incredible. Also once we'll be looking for people to help us develop certain programs, the internship program in the clinic, and just developing different programs within intertwining the education with the healing, in the sanctuary. So, welcome people to put up their hand that want to collaborate and want to put forth ideas on different models of how this could work, because we all only have our limited perspective, and together we create a diverse perspective. And this, the elder tree is a lot of people and a lot of plants, all working together. So if you feel like you have something to offer, just get in touch. Put your hand up, let your voice be heard, and put it forward. So as I mentioned earlier as well, we have recently launched a Patreon, called the Elder Tree Trove, and basically that space is a space where we offer all of this kind of behind the scenes material. We offer the people that we interview on the podcast, they give us bonus material and exclusive things, some things that are just exclusive to the Elder Tree Trove members, things like discount codes, free access to their learning resources, PDFs and webinars and all kinds of different things on there. So, and we give thanks to all of the people that we've interviewed on the show that have been generously giving things for the Elder Tree Trove. So if you'd like to join the Elder Tree Trove, it's a really wonderful way to support us. So it's less than $2 a week, or it's $8 a month. $8 a month is, it's not much. It's like the cost of probably not even 2 coffees a month if you drink coffee, or a couple of cups of herbal tea. But if everyone's doing that, it's going to make a massive impact. Like we said in a recent post on our social media, is that if all of the 1,500 followers we have on Facebook all donated that that $2 per week, then we'd have like $3,000 per week to work with, which would be incredibly helpful in helping us to work towards our goal. So yeah, that's something to consider, whether you're in it for the bonus material or just in it to help us out. We just really welcome that. So you can find us there on www.patreon.com/the Elder Tree. And yeah, it's a really great way to support us. So and we welcome feedback. We would love for you to get in touch. If there's anything about this show you feel to share, we're wide open to feedback and would love to hear of your experience. And welcome you to jump on our Facebook page and leave a testimonial or a review, or jump onto the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and leave a star rating, subscribe, follow, leave a review. Like, all of those things really help us to get our message further out there and help us to just reach further in the Australian community, and then be that place that interconnects everyone. It's very exciting journeys that lie ahead for this podcast, and also for the Elder Tree itself, and for everyone that's involved. So just want to thank you all again for your support, and may the plants be with you. Thank you so much for listening to the Herbal Education segment of the Elder Tree podcast. Stay tuned every new moon as I interview more wise and inspiring herbal educators and herbal lore keepers from around Australia. If you would like to go deeper with the podcast journey, you can become a member of the Elder Tree Trove on Patreon. Contribute as little as $2 per week to access free content from our interviewees, and also access discount codes and opportunities which are exclusive to our members. You can find us on Patreon by going to www.patreon.com/the Elder Tree. Other ways that you can assist us in getting our offerings out there to more people in Australia is by subscribing and leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and on the Spotify app. Also, liking, commenting on and sharing our social media posts actually has a really positive impact and helps us to reach further with the message from all of the amazing herbal lore keepers that we interview on this podcast. Thank you so much for your support, and have a most wonderful day.